Have you ever felt a little off, but just shrugged it off as part of getting older? Maybe it was a moment of dizziness you blamed on standing up too fast, or a slight confusion with your words that you laughed away as a senior moment. But what if I told you these tiny, easily ignored signs could be your body's urgent warning? And missing them could mean the difference between life, disability, or even death. Strokes are not always dramatic. They don't always announce themselves with slurred speech, sudden numbness, or a dramatic collapse. In fact, some of the most dangerous strokes whisper instead of scream. They're called silent strokes, and every year millions of seniors have them without ever realizing what happened. A silent stroke can quietly steal away your memory, your confidence, and your independence, bit by bit. And the worst part, the number one symptom is often so subtle most people brush it aside. Today we're going to reveal that number one silent stroke symptom most seniors miss. Why it happens, how to spot it, and what to do if you notice it. Because when it comes to strokes, knowledge is power, and noticing this one sign could save your brain and your future. So grab your favorite chair, settle in, and let's have a real, honest conversation. This could be the most important health message you hear all year. Let's begin. What is a silent stroke? The hidden threat. We're all familiar with the dramatic Hollywood version of a stroke. Someone suddenly clutching their arm, slurring their words, collapsing as family rushes to call 911. But what about the strokes? That happen quietly, often overnight, sometimes with zero drama at all. These are silent strokes, but don't let the word silent fool you. They're not harmless. In fact, silent strokes can cause lasting damage, robbing you of memory, focus, and even your mobility, all under the radar. So, what exactly is a silent stroke? A silent stroke, also called a silent cerebral infarct, is a tiny blockage in the brain's blood vessels. Unlike major strokes, which often hit big areas and cause immediate visible symptoms, silent strokes affect smaller, deeper areas of the brain. Most people don't realize when they've had one. There's no pain, no drama. You might just wake up feeling off. But here's the danger. Over time, these small, unnoticed strokes can add up. They can shrink areas of your brain, speed up memory loss, make walking harder, or even trigger a bigger, catastrophic stroke down the line. Silent strokes are surprisingly common. By age 70, nearly 1 in 4 seniors has experienced one, often without a clue. Let's pause and meet Mr. Robert, age 76. Robert was always sharp and active, crossword puzzles every morning, daily walks, a love of gardening. But lately his daughter noticed small changes. He misplaced keys more often, struggled to finish sentences, and lost interest in his favorite activities. Doctors discovered he'd had several silent strokes, each one stealing a tiny piece of his mind. So, how do you know if you've had a silent stroke? What's the number one symptom you can't afford to miss? That's what we'll uncover next. The number one silent stroke symptom most seniors miss. Here's the truth. The most common and most ignored symptom of a silent stroke is subtle memory problems. It's not the dramatic amnesia you see in movies. It's more like this. You forget why you walked into a room. You lose track of a conversation halfway through. You can't find the right word, and it happens more often than before. Most seniors chalk these lapses up to just getting older. But silent strokes attack the brain's white matter, the wiring that connects memory and language. Let's listen to Mrs. Jones' story. At 82, Joan prided herself on never missing a birthday or phone call with friends. But after her husband passed away, Joan's friends started noticing she'd repeat herself, forget appointments, and lose interest in socializing. She just seemed not quite herself. After a checkup, her doctor found evidence of multiple silent strokes. Here's what makes this symptom so tricky. It's gradual, it's subtle, It rarely causes panic, but the earlier you catch it, the better your odds of protecting your brain's health and independence. So how do you tell normal aging apart from a silent stroke? Let's dig deeper into the warning signs and how to spot the difference. How to spot the warning signs. Your memory's SOS signals. Everyone misplaces their glasses sometimes. But if memory lapses are happening more often, interfering with daily life, making it hard to follow familiar recipes, pay bills or keep up with conversations, that's not just old age. Watch for these subtle clues. Struggling to learn new information, losing interest in hobbies or conversations, changes in personality, such as increased irritability or apathy, getting lost in familiar places. If you or a loved one notices these changes, don't brush them off. A neurologist or geriatrician can run simple brain scans or memory tests to spot evidence of silent strokes, often before the damage becomes permanent. Let's meet Mr. Lee, age 79, who always loved driving to his local coffee shop. One morning he got confused on the way home. At first he felt embarrassed and said nothing, but after it happened again, his family took him to see his doctor, and early intervention made all the difference. Early action can mean more years of independence, memory, and quality time with those you love. Next, let's explore why these silent strokes happen in the first place, and who's at the greatest risk. Why do silent strokes happen, and who's at risk? Silent strokes are more common than most people think, especially after age 60. But why? It comes down to a few key factors. 1. High blood pressure, the #1 culprit behind silent strokes. High blood pressure silently damages blood vessels in the brain, making blockages more likely. 2. Diabetes. Uncontrolled blood sugar increases the risk of blood vessel damage and clot formation. 3. Irregular heartbeat, atrial fibrillation. AFib can send tiny clots up to the brain, causing silent blockages. 4. Smoking and obesity. Both speed up artery damage, making blockages more likely. 5. Sleep apnea. Poor sleep quality lowers oxygen, raising stroke risk. Let's hear from Dr. Evans, a leading neurologist, who explains, most people with silent strokes feel fine until the memory loss or confusion creeps up. But the earlier we control blood pressure, cholesterol, and blood sugar, the lower the risk. If you're over 60 and have one or more of these risks, you need to be especially vigilant. The good news, you can take action right now. Let's talk about how taking action, protecting your brain from silent strokes. Let's pause for a moment. If you're watching this video, it means you care, not just about living longer, but about living better. You want to keep your mind clear, your memory sharp, your independence intact. And I want to tell you, even if you've never heard of silent strokes until now, even if you worry you've already missed the signs, there is so much you can do. Starting today. A. Know your numbers and why they matter. Imagine you're the captain of a ship sailing into the night. You wouldn't ignore your compass, your fuel, or your maps. For your health, those maps are your numbers: blood pressure, cholesterol, and blood sugar. Why these matter? High blood pressure is the type 1 risk factor for silent strokes. It damages blood vessels silently, creating weak spots in your brain's delicate network, sometimes without a single symptom until damage is done. High cholesterol leads to plaque in the arteries, narrowing blood flow. High blood sugar, especially in diabetes, damages small blood vessels, raising the risk of blockages. But knowing your numbers is just the beginning. Meet Mr. Stevens, 79, who thought he felt fine until a routine checkup showed blood pressure at 168/98. He was shocked. I had no idea. He worked with his doctor, made small changes, and 6 months later his numbers had dropped, his energy returned, and his risk for both big and silent strokes fell dramatically. Your steps: get your blood pressure checked at least twice a year, or more if advised. Ask for a full cholesterol and blood sugar panel. Write the numbers down, track your progress. If your doctor recommends medication, take it as directed. Remember, it's about prevention, not just fixing what's broken. B. Move every day. The brain loves movement. Have you ever noticed how you feel clearer and brighter after a walk? That's not a coincidence. Movement literally feeds your brain. Why? Exercise works, increases blood flow and oxygen to the brain, helps maintain healthy blood vessels, reduces blood pressure, cholesterol, and even inflammation. But you don't need to run marathons. Let me tell you about Mrs. Green, 84. She struggled with joint pain and felt too old for exercise. Her doctor suggested a gentle walking group at her local park. She started with 5 minutes, 3 days a week. By month's end, she was walking 20 minutes, laughing with friends, feeling sharper, and her memory improved. Your steps: start small. 5-10 minutes of walking, dancing, gardening, or even gentle stretches. Find a buddy or group for motivation. Socializing boosts the benefits. Add movement to daily routines. March in place while waiting for the kettle. Stretch before bed. Stand up during commercials. If you have limited mobility, try chair exercises or water aerobics. C. Eat for brain health. Your fork is powerful. Food is fuel, not just for your body, but for your mind. The Mediterranean diet, rich in fruits, vegetables, whole grains, healthy fats, and low in processed food, is proven to reduce stroke risk. Why it works. Fresh produce gives antioxidants, fighting the inflammation that leads to blood vessel damage. Healthy. Fats from olive oil, nuts, and fish keep arteries flexible. Less salt, lower blood pressure. Meet Miss Tran, 72, who loved her morning bacon and salty snacks. After a minor silent stroke was discovered on a scan, she worked with a nutritionist. She learned to swap red meat for salmon, white bread for whole grain, and chips for berries and nuts. Her cholesterol dropped, her energy soared, and her doctor called her a star patient. Your steps: fill half your plate with colorful vegetables at every meal. Choose fish or chicken over red meat. Use olive oil, not butter. Limit processed foods, packaged snacks, and added salt. Drink water or unsweetened tea. Soda is not your friend. D. Quit smoking. Your brain will thank you. Smoking is a major risk factor, but quitting at any age can dramatically cut your risk. Meet Mr. Ortiz, 68, a lifelong smoker. He quit after his grandson was born. Within 1 year, his risk for stroke and silent strokes dropped by nearly 50%. Your steps: ask your doctor for resources or medication. Use quit lines or support groups. Remember, every day, smoke-free is a win for your brain. Manage stress and sleep, the overlooked heroes. Stress and poor sleep can silently damage blood vessels and increase inflammation. Your steps: try meditation or gentle breathing. 5 minutes a day can lower blood pressure. Keep a regular sleep routine. Go to bed and wake up at the same time. Keep your room cool, dark, and quiet. Avoid screens before bed. Read or listen to soft music instead. Reach out. Talk to friends, family, or a support group if you feel isolated. Real-life example: Mrs. Green's journey. Let's revisit Mrs. Green. After joining the walking group, she added daily meditation with her daughter over the phone. She changed her breakfast to oatmeal with berries, swapped out her evening wine for chamomile tea, and set a bedtime routine. Within months, her blood pressure dropped, her memory sharpened, and her mood lifted. Remember, small changes made, daily can protect your brain for years to come. Silent strokes are not a sentence, they're a signal to take action. When to seek help and what to expect. We've talked about habits and prevention, but what if you or a loved one is already noticing subtle changes? When should you seek help? And what should you expect if a doctor suspects a silent stroke? A. Recognizing subtle changes. The early warning silent strokes can be tricky. They often cause small gradual changes that are easy to brush off, especially in older adults. Common signs include memory lapses or confusion that weren't there before, trouble finding words or keeping track in conversations, getting lost in familiar places, subtle weakness, balance problems or a shuffling walk, mood changes, becoming withdrawn, anxious or uncharacteristically irritable. Story. Mr. Lee, age 81, always managed his bills and crossword puzzles with ease. His daughter noticed him repeating questions and misplacing items more often. They visited his doctor, who listened carefully and ordered a brain MRI, discovering several tiny old strokes. Catching these early gave Mr. Lee a chance to slow progression and get the support he needed. B. Taking the first step, seeing your doctor. If you notice these changes in yourself or someone you love, don't ignore them. Doctors are trained to spot subtle signs and can order tests that reveal even silent strokes. What to expect? A detailed history. When did the changes begin? How fast are they progressing? Neurological exams, checking memory, balance, strength, speech, and reflexes. Blood tests for cholesterol, sugar, and inflammation markers. Brain imaging, like MRI or CT scans, to detect even tiny strokes. Why early? Action matters. Silent strokes add up. The sooner you know, the sooner you can start treatment, make lifestyle changes, and even reverse some damage. C. What if a silent stroke is found? Finding a silent stroke is not the end. It's the beginning of a new plan. Treatment options may include blood pressure and cholesterol-lowering medications, blood thinners to reduce further clot risk, physical therapy to rebuild strength, and coordination, memory or speech therapy if needed, support for you and your family, education, counseling, and planning for the future. D. Supporting your loved one. You're not alone. A diagnosis of a silent stroke can be overwhelming. Family members often feel lost, guilty, or unsure what to do next. Tips for caregivers. Learn about silent strokes. Knowledge is power. Attend doctor's appointments and ask questions. Encourage healthy habits at home. Meals, movement, and social connection. Join support groups online or in person for advice and emotional backing. Remember, catching a silent stroke early gives you options, hope, and a pathway forward. Recovery, support, and staying engaged. If you or someone you love has had a silent stroke, know this: recovery is possible. It's not always easy, but with support, determination, and the right steps, you can regain strength, independence, and quality of life. A. Medical follow-up. Your lifeline. Keep up with regular doctor visits. Take prescribed medications as directed. Track your numbers and bring your questions to every appointment. Update your doctor on any new symptoms or concerns. B. Physical and occupational therapy. Regaining function. Many people believe that small strokes don't cause problems, but even tiny silent strokes can add up to bigger changes in mobility, balance, and thinking. Therapies help by improving strength, balance, and coordination, teaching you safe ways to move, get dressed, or cook, providing exercises tailored to your needs. Story. Mrs. Han, 79, noticed she was tripping more often and felt foggy after a silent stroke was found. With her therapist, she practiced daily balance exercises, learned tricks to remember tasks, and gained back her confidence. C. Cognitive rehabilitation, keeping your mind sharp. Brain games, memory exercises, puzzles, and learning new skills help the brain rewire and strengthen after injury. Try crosswords, Sudoku, or card games. Join a book club or discussion group. Learn a new hobby, painting, knitting, or music. D. Social connection, medicine for the mind. Isolation increases the risk of further strokes, depression, and even dementia. Stay engaged by calling friends or family regularly, joining local clubs, faith groups, or community centers. Volunteering, helping others gives a sense of purpose. E. Support groups and community resources. Look for stroke recovery or caregiver groups in your area. Ask your doctor for referrals. Online communities can offer advice, encouragement, and friendship from people who truly understand. F. Maintaining hope and setting goals. Recovery isn't always a straight path. Some days are easier than others. Set small, realistic goals and celebrate every step forward. Story. Mr. Raymond, 85, set a goal to walk unassisted to his mailbox after his silent stroke. It took 3 months, but with daily effort, encouragement, and therapy, he did it, and now inspires his neighbors. Remember, you're not alone on this journey. There are people, resources, and support ready to help. Let's pause and reflect. Silent strokes can be invisible, but their impact is real on memory, mood, balance, and independence. But here's the hope. By knowing the signs, making healthy changes, and seeking help, you can protect your brain. And future a recap of the #1 silent stroke symptom. The most commonly missed symptom: subtle, persistent memory problems. If you or someone you love is struggling with memory, don't assume it's just old age. Take it seriously. Talk to your doctor. You have the power to protect your mind. B. Your next steps. Start small, start today. Schedule a checkup. Get your numbers. Add 5 more minutes of movement to your day. Make one healthy swap at your next meal. Reach out. Call a friend, join a group, or simply talk about what you've learned today. Knowledge is powerful, but action is what changes lives. C. Community and engagement. If you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and share with someone you love. Leave a comment below. Have you or a loved one experienced subtle memory changes? What steps will you take today to protect your brain? Your story could inspire others and help someone you'll never meet. D. Closing inspiration. Remember, it's never too late to protect your mind, find support, and live your best, most engaged life. Thank you for spending this time with me. Your commitment to health and learning is a gift to yourself and those you love. Until next time, take care of your body, your mind, and your spirit. Stay strong, stay connected, stay hopeful,